What if your deepest desires came true, but with terrifying consequences? What if the fantasy you've always dreamed of turns into your worst nightmare? Welcome to Fantasy Island, a place where wishes come true, but not in the way you expect. In this movie review, we'll dive into Fantasy Island, 2020, a horror thriller inspired by the classic 1977 TV series. Directed by Jeff Wadlow, this film flips the idea of a dream vacation into something much darker. Guests on a luxurious tropical island have their deepest desires fulfilled by the mysterious host, Mr. Roarke. But as their fantasies unfold, they realize that sometimes you get more than you bargained for. In this video, we'll break down the key elements of the film: the plot, characters, hidden twists, and what makes it a gripping yet flawed ride. You'll learn about the eerie concept at the heart of the movie and the unexpected turns that keep you on the edge of your seat. If you've ever wondered what happens when your dreams turn into nightmares, or if this movie is really worth your time, stick around till the end. We'll give you the inside scoop and some facts you might not know. So welcome to our channel, Movies Review, where we explore the world of cinema with a fresh perspective. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more reviews. And keep watching to find out if Fantasy Island lives up to its dark promises or leaves you disappointed. Imagine a lush, tropical paradise. The turquoise waters sparkle, the golden sands stretch endlessly under the sun, and everything feels like a dream come true. This is the setting for Fantasy Island, where the boundaries between reality and imagination blur. But beneath the sun-kissed beauty of the island lies a much darker truth. The island, isolated from the rest of the world, is a place where desires are no longer just wishes. They are granted in ways that are as thrilling as they are terrifying. It's the perfect backdrop for a horror thriller, where the setting itself feels almost like a character, one that hides its secrets behind the facade of an idyllic paradise. The movie kicks off as a diverse group of guests lands on the island, ready to experience the vacation of a lifetime. They are invited to have their most cherished fantasies come true. Mr. Roarke, the enigmatic host, promises that he and his team will fulfill each of the guests' desires in ways that only the mysterious island can provide. It's an offer that sounds too good to be true, but what they don't know is that the fulfillment of their fantasies comes at a cost. Whether it's love, revenge, or even the chance to right a past wrong, everyone has their own deeply personal wish. Some long for a second chance at happiness, others want to relive lost moments, and a few seek closure from painful pasts. But these aren't your average dreams. They're fantasies with dark twists, and they're about to spiral out of control. As each guest's fantasy plays out, it becomes evident that not all is as it seems. The island starts to shift from a beautiful, tranquil paradise to a place of horror. What seemed like the perfect scenario slowly turns into a twisted nightmare. A simple wish for revenge, for example, leads to consequences far worse than expected. As the guests live out their fantasies, they soon realize that their desires aren't always what they truly wanted. To survive, they must face their darkest fears and confront the consequences of their choices. Some find themselves caught in endless loops of terror, while others have to make life or death decisions. The line between fantasy and nightmare becomes so blurred that no one is safe. No one can escape until they've learned the hard lesson that sometimes you don't get what you expect. And the price? It could be more than they are willing to pay. Portrayed by Michael Pena, Mr. Roarke is the centerpiece of the film's intrigue. He is calm, charismatic, and has an almost godlike control over the island and its power. His job? To grant the guests their fantasies. But beneath the surface of his smooth exterior, there's an air of mystery that keeps viewers wondering, is Mr. Roarke just a benevolent host, or is there a more sinister motive behind his actions? He knows far more than he lets on, and he is fully aware of the dangerous consequences of granting such intense wishes. As the film progresses, Roarke's motivations become more ambiguous, and the audience begins to question whether he is merely the puppet master or if he's also a prisoner of the island's twisted magic. Peña's portrayal of Roarke strikes the perfect balance between charm and menace, making him both compelling and unsettling to watch. The guests of Fantasy Island come from all walks of life, each with unique personal desires that drive them to the island. At the center of the story is Melanie, played by Lucy Hale. Her fantasy revolves around rekindling the love she once had, but her wishes lead her into a much darker situation than she anticipated. Patrick, Austin Stowell, another guest, seeks revenge for a betrayal, but as his story unfolds, the desire for justice takes a nightmarish turn. Alongside them are other characters, each of whom has a different motivation for visiting the island, but all of them will eventually realize that their fantasies come with high stakes. The variety of the characters adds to the complexity of the film. We see how different desires shape their fates, how love, revenge, and regret can play out in the most terrifying of ways. And as they face the horrors that unfold, we watch them evolve. Do they succumb to the darkness of their wishes, or do they find a way to overcome the twisted world they're trapped in? Adding a touch of comic relief amidst the tension are Brax and JD, characters who provide moments of humor in an otherwise intense narrative. Their presence in the story brings an interesting dynamic to the otherwise dark tone of the film. As the guests experience their worst nightmares, Brax and JD often find themselves in situations that lighten the mood, yet their actions also highlight the absurdity of the situations. Their roles, though secondary, offer a break from the relentless suspense and remind us that not everything on the island is as serious as it seems. They may not be central to the plot, but they certainly bring an important layer to the character dynamics, offering the audience a chance to breathe between the tense moments. At the heart of Fantasy Island lies a deep exploration of desires, the idea that everyone has something they long for, something that drives them. The film uses the concept of granting fantasies to expose the hidden, often darker side of human nature. Everyone's wish is personal, stemming from past regrets, grief, or longing. But the movie reveals that simply getting what you desire can have catastrophic effects. The fantasy might look perfect on the surface, but it never turns out the way the characters expect. It's a chilling reminder that desires can be dangerous, and fulfilling them might not bring the happiness we think it will. The movie pushes the idea that not all fantasies are meant to be fulfilled. Sometimes, the pursuit of a dream can be more dangerous than the nightmare itself. The moral lesson of Fantasy Island is clear: be careful what you wish for. The movie's themes delve into the consequences of unchecked desire and how, in chasing what we think will bring us happiness, we often ignore the potential cost. It asks whether we truly understand our own needs and how fulfillment may come with heavy consequences. As the guests struggle with their fantasies, they learn that achieving what they want doesn't necessarily bring peace or happiness. In fact, it often leads to destruction. The film urges viewers to think about their own desires and what they might cost, not just in the pursuit, but in the aftermath. Sometimes, what we want the most is not what we need to find peace. The cinematography of Fantasy Island plays a huge role in creating the film's atmosphere. The lush, picturesque tropical island is shot beautifully, its warm, inviting beauty in stark contrast to the chilling events that unfold. This creates an unsettling tension as the guests arrive to a paradise that soon reveals its dark side. The vibrant blues of the ocean, the thick green jungles, and the exotic landscape are captured in a way that lures viewers in, only to show them the nightmare lurking beneath. The visual contrast is essential to the film's suspense, highlighting the clash between paradise and horror. Special effects are used effectively in Fantasy Island to enhance the horror aspects of the film. from grotesque transformations to terrifying manifestations of the characters' desires. The use of CGI and makeup helps bring the fantastical elements to life. These effects make the horror feel real and tangible, with visual grotesqueness adding to the sense of dread. The monstrous creations and twisted realities are created with enough detail to make the audience feel like they're right there, trapped with the characters. The tone of Fantasy Island is a balance of mystery, suspense, and horror. It keeps the audience on edge, as the line between fantasy and nightmare is constantly blurred. There's a lingering sense of unease throughout, enhanced by the eerie atmosphere of the island. The slow build-up of tension, combined with unexpected twists and haunting visuals, makes for an engaging, thrilling experience. The film carefully crafts moments of fear and shock, ensuring the viewers never know what's coming next. Critics had mixed reactions to Fantasy Island. While the concept of a horror thriller based on a classic TV show intrigued some, many felt that the execution didn't live up to the potential of the premise. The premise itself, taking a seemingly innocent fantasy and twisting it into a nightmare, was captivating. But some critics felt the film failed to fully deliver on its suspense and horror. The lack of deep character development and a somewhat predictable plotline left certain viewers underwhelmed. However, others found it entertaining, praising the film's atmosphere and creative approach. Audience reactions mirrored the critics, with some people enjoying the twists and horror elements, while others felt the film didn't fully live up to its potential. Some viewers were drawn in by the suspenseful thrills and mystery of the island, while others found it lacking in depth and originality. It's clear that Fantasy Island appeals to those who enjoy a mix of horror and mystery, but for others it might leave them wanting more. In conclusion, Fantasy Island 2020 presents a fascinating concept. A horror thriller built around the idea of wishes coming true, only to take a dark and twisted turn. The film starts strong, with a visually stunning tropical island setting and an intriguing premise that promises a thrilling ride. The performances, particularly Michael Peña's portrayal of the enigmatic Mr. Roarke, are solid, adding depth to the mystery. The island itself serves as a captivating character, blurring the line between paradise and nightmare. However, the execution leaves something to be desired. While the concept is unique, the film struggles to fully deliver on its potential. The pacing can feel uneven, and some of the twists feel predictable or underdeveloped. The characters, though diverse, don't always get the depth they deserve, which weakens the emotional impact of their story arcs. Additionally, the blend of horror and mystery could have been more tightly woven to heighten the suspense and deliver a more cohesive experience. So, who would enjoy Fantasy Island? If you're a fan of mystery horror films that play with the idea of fulfilled fantasies turning into nightmares, this movie might be worth a watch. It's a solid choice for viewers who enjoy suspenseful thrillers with a supernatural twist. If you're looking for a movie that explores the darker side of desires, with eerie atmospheres and some unexpected twists, Fantasy Island could hit the spot. But if you're someone who prefers more tightly structured plots with deeper character development, or if you're expecting a more polished execution of its intriguing premise, you may find yourself a bit disappointed. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to Movies Review for more movie insights, reviews, and summaries. We're bringing you fresh content every week to help you decide what to watch next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.